There's always a button to push once we get started here. Always a button. All right, here we go. All right, awesome. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Will Johnson. UniteAmericaFirst.com is the website. Please do me a favor. I'm always asking, please share the video, share the podcast. If you're listening live right now on the podcast, please share it. Okay, let's just get right into it. We still have so many issues going on right now. So many, right? There's issues left and right, just up and down, forwards and backwards, circling around the planet. And what do they want to concentrate on? What is the left concentrating on? Right? We have all the fentanyl coming across the border. We have all of the teacher issues with the children, how they're trying to, attack the children. We have all these issues. We have major issues. The gas prices are still high. They're still high. When I go to the gas pump, I don't like to look at it because it's still high. Of course, it's gone down. Why? Because it's election year, right? We're getting right to it. They don't want people to think about it. The food prices are still high. The grocery stores are starting to look empty again, right? But they don't want you to pay attention to that. They're all attacking President Trump right now, trying to say, look, President Trump, we got him. We're going to sue him in the state of New York. We're going to sue him. We're going to sue him. Over what? The same thing that they're trying to sue President Trump over right now, the same thing that Michael Cohen, the guy that went to prison for lying, saying that I can prove that President Trump was doing this. He went to prison for lying. And now they're pursuing President Trump for the same fraudulent stuff that Michael Cohen was talking about. The same thing. And the only reason why it's happening because the AG in New York, she's up for election. She ran on going after President Trump. She ran on going after President Trump for that. So I have so much to share with you tonight. Let me get to this first thing here. Actually, I was going to show you something else about the border first, but I'm going to skip that for just a second. And I'm going to go to what's happening in our country as far as this recession. It's not looking good. Remember, they just came out with talking about the recession, right? It's a lot worse than they were imagining, right? It's a lot worse. It's a lot worse. And they don't want to even call it a recession, right? They don't even want to call it that. But now you have leftists saying that, hey, we're going to have to call this a recession because it's not looking good. That's the only way we can get out of it. Now, listen to this. Listen to this clip here and listen to what they say, because this is on the Communist News Network saying this. Y'all need to get ready. I've said this so many times in the past. Y'all need to get ready. There's so many different things y'all need to get ready for, and we're going to get into some of those other things as well. But one of them is the economy. The inflation, 8.3, and Biden just tried to chuck it off on 60 Minutes. Oh, well, it's just, moved a smidgen. A 40-year high, people. Listen to this.
Described as the scariest economics paper of 2022. And in it, you write, to get inflation rate to the Fed's target of 2%, that would require an average unemployment rate of about 6.5% in 2023, 2024. This is what Elizabeth Warren is so worried about. How worried are you?
This is what Elizabeth Warren is worried about, right? The only reason why Elizabeth Warren is worried about it is because we're going into the midterms and it's not going to look good for the Democrats. How many of y'all trust the Democrats versus the Republicans when it comes to the economy, when it comes to the gas prices, when it comes to your energy prices for your electric bill, when it comes to your food prices? Who do you trust more, the Democrats or the Republicans?
I am worried about the situation we're in. Historically, you've never seen the Fed be able to bring inflation down from this type of level without causing a recession. You heard the Fed chair in August at Jackson Hole say basically he's single-mindedly concerned about inflation, and if unemployment starts rising, he's not going to let up on what he needs to do. I think that's incredibly unpleasant, incredibly unfortunate, but the alternative might be even worse. If you let inflation get entrenched, it could require an even bigger recession a couple of years from now to bring it down.
A bigger recession may require a bigger recession. They don't even acknowledge that we're in a recession now. They don't want to acknowledge it. They want to act like it's not even happening. Oh, it's not happening. It's not happening. Don't believe what you see. Believe what we tell you. Don't believe the truth. Believe what we're telling you. Listen to this one. Listen to this one. And again, I ask y'all this very basic question. Who do you trust more? The Democrats or the Republicans when it comes to the economy? Well, let's see what CNN says.
Who do you trust to handle the economy? Democrats 38%, Republicans 52%. If you're Republicans, we talked about immigration earlier in the program. If you're Republicans, you see those numbers and you think, talk about inflation.
Right? Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. 38% of the Democrats think that the Democrats can do better. Right? In America, this is a CNN poll. And they believe the Republicans can do better. And the reason being is because when this first started out, the reason why this is like this is because the American people know that when President Trump was in office, everything was a lot better. Everything was a lot better. I want to show you something. You see this on my screen right here? This was from investment.com, and these are businesses that are closing in America. These are businesses that you're seeing that's closing down. They're shutting down a lot of their branches. Some of them shutting down completely altogether. Some of them are just closing a couple of shops. But these are companies that are listed that are going to all either completely shut down or shut down to some extent by the end of this year, going into 2023 and 2024. Look at this list, everybody. This is, and I'm willing to bet that somebody watching right now possibly work at one of these companies. And look at it. We're already at 36 here. Look at this. Look at it. 30 companies, 32 companies, 33, 34. Look at this. And you probably see some companies on here that you probably go to. There's some on here that you probably visit to at least once a week, maybe once a month even, right? But this is what's happening under the Biden administration. This is what's happening by design. Now, what I really want y'all to pay attention to while y'all look at this list of businesses that are shutting down and closing down. Imagine how many jobs are connected to this. Imagine. So when they talk about the job numbers, the unemployment having to be at 6.5, trying to bring it down, the unemployment rate, right? This is going to cause it to go up. Now, according to the Biden administration, everything is on the up and up. Let them tell it. Let them tell us that none of this is happening. Nothing is bad. Everything is completely okay. Don't pay attention to what's happening right before your eyes. Again, I encourage y'all to go to investment.com. Look at this. And the list is going on and on. And see, the bad thing about, for me, I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? Me showing you this, showing how bad the economy is, showing how bad the Biden administration is making this, showing how this is going to hurt everybody. It's going to affect me too, because a lot of people, they support me in bringing this information. But when I show you stuff like this, people get reserved, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all, because look at this number. It's still going up. Look at this. These are businesses that are going to shut down. And the difference is that President Trump, when he was in office, these businesses, all of these businesses that you see rolling here on the screen, they were flourishing. They were making bank, right? Because you were making money, because your 401k was looking better. You didn't have to say, well, you know what? I need to reserve because I need to try to survive. But there's no surviving this, right? Look at this. The only way we can reverse this is President Trump. We have to have somebody like President Trump to come back in office to fix this, because the Democrats, they're not going to. The Democrats are the reason why we have this happening right now. Look at this. It's still going on. And it's not a single duplicate on here. Not a single one. I guarantee people watching this right now, you have seen or you've been at some of these stores. Look at the list. This was not happening under President Trump. And they want us to believe that the economy is better, that we're not in a recession. How many people, I don't even know the count on the number of people that's going to lose their job when it comes to this. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. how many people are going to lose their jobs? Right? And we're talking about thousands of people because they have Walmart on here. They're closing down some Walmarts. They have some Best Buys, JCPenney's. There was McDonald's on here. Panera Bread. I mean, the list, Bed Bath & Beyond. I mean, come on. The list goes on and on. And I encourage all of y'all, if y'all don't believe me, go back and watch this and look at it. And you let me know, did I have any duplicates on here? Not a single duplicate. All of these are American-based businesses that are shutting down, or they're closing down branches, closing down stores. Some of them completely. Some of them completely. It's disgusting. And they're concentrating on going after President Trump for some fraudulent stuff that they made up. They're still going after President Trump. Why? We have so many more pressing issues that's happening in the United States of America, but they can't help themselves. They fear the idea, they fear the fact that President Trump is going to return in 2024 because they have messed it up. They've literally destroyed the country, and they're actually on the verge of destroying it more. And how they're going to do that? They're going to do that with this invasion. This invasion is taking place. And I said this before, and I pray that I'm wrong. Lord Jesus, please allow me to be wrong. But I've said this before, this invasion that they're doing, this influx of people that's coming in, these people that we don't even know about, they don't even know where they are. They've already caught, since the beginning of this year, 78 known terrorists. How many other terrorists got through? And what I've said before this election, something's going to happen. Now, I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. But I truly believe something's going to happen, because look at the situation the country's in right now. Just look at it. Just look. The animosity, the chaos, the lack of resources, the lack of energy, the lack of gas, the lack of food, right? The lack of security, the lack of police officers. All of this was driven by those on the left. Every last bit of it. They say people are fleeing from Venezuela, communist Venezuela, to come to America, and Karine Jean-Pierre said that they're fleeing communism, as if she's against communism all of a sudden. Knowing good and well she's not against communism. She's 100% for it. All of them are. They're pushing for it, or they would close the borders, but they don't want to. So I truly believe something's going to happen, and I pray that I'm wrong. But look at this. I want to show you this report. This is Jesse Waters. I'm really liking Jesse Waters. I mean, Jesse Waters, he's actually been on point. Listen to what he says here in this report about these illegal immigrants and how they're still upset. Right now, all of a sudden, it's become like, oh my goodness, they're acting like Hitler sending these people to Martha's Vineyard. I mean, oh my goodness, what kind of prison camp does Martha's Vineyard look like to you? They get new clothes, they got new cell phones, they're getting fed very well. And now all of a sudden they got this lawsuit against Ron DeSantis. Do y'all see a pattern? They're trying to go after Ron DeSantis and take him out, and they want to take out President Trump. Listen to this.
Fox News alert, we're live on the ground waiting for a plane full of illegal immigrants to land nearby Joe Biden's $1 million beach house in Delaware. The only way to get the president to react to the open border, because CBS spoke to him for 60 minutes and it never came up, is to send migrants to his doorstep. He finally said something about the illegals being dropped off where he vacations today.
Sending migrants to Delaware, do you have any comment or response to that, sir?
He should come visit. We have a beautiful shoreline.
DeSantis isn't going to Delaware. It's not a swing state. But every news camera in the country went. Have you ever seen this many reporters at the southern border? No. The flight's too far and it's dusty. You don't win Pulitzers at the border. Plus, the humidity messes up your hair. Trust me, I know. The only way you can get the media to cover the border is to bring the border to the Northeast, where it's a short drive from all of their bureaus. And the journalists, quote unquote, can be back home that night for dinner. Ron DeSantis called them out for it earlier today.
I have haven't heard a peep about all the people that have been told by Biden you can just come in, and they're being abused by the cartels, they're drowning in the Rio Grande. You had 50 that died in some shed in Texas. I heard no outrage about any of that. I haven't heard outrage about all the fentanyl that's come across the border that's killing Americans in record numbers. The only thing I hear them getting upset about is you have 50 that end up in Martha's Vineyard. Then they get really upset.
You know what? And again, like I mentioned a second ago, we have bigger issues. We have major problems, and they're ignoring them. Just like Kamala Harris ignored the southern border. This is by design. Y'all need to get ready. I've told y'all multiple times, y'all need to get ready for what's about to come. And every single time I mention it, people are like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Well, stop saying, oh my goodness, and start getting ready. Stop being scared, because you don't need to be scared, but you need to prepare, right? Do it. Stop thinking while you have time, because you know what? Time is short. It is running out. What they're doing to this country is unbelievable. I shouldn't even be talking about this stuff. This shouldn't even be a conversation. This shouldn't even be something to be going on that they're actually, but the reason why I'm talking about it, because they're actually doing it.
If we learned anything from Martha's Vineyard, it's that liberals don't want migrants anywhere near them. To them, the border isn't a crisis. The crisis is when illegals come out of the shadows. It's only a matter of time before the illegals at Biden's beach house get deported back down south where they belong. Biden's lucky that DeSantis is sending him the polite migrants. Could be a lot worse. A new report shows that Venezuela is emptying out its prisons, sending its most violent inmates, murderers, and rapists straight into Texas. Good thing Biden's building a $500,000 wall across his property. For someone who never sees anything coming, boy, did Biden get lucky. You know, the wall was supposed to keep Hunter in, but now it has a dual use. It'll keep the migrants out.
What a bunch of hypocrites, right? What a bunch of hypocrites. See, there's protection and safety for those on the left, these elitists. There's all kind of protection for them. But when it comes to the rest of us, we're out in the dirt. There's no protection for us. And then on top of that, they want to remove any capability of you being able to protect yourself. Oh, why do you need that? You're not going hunting. Why do you need that? Maybe I need it for self-defense. No, you don't. No, you don't. Really? Look at all of the people that they're letting into the country. Again, how many? Let me ask y'all, because y'all are intelligent people. Let me ask you. How many of you know exactly where 2 million of these people that got away, that they don't know where they are? How do you know? Do you know where they are? Do you know what their intentions are? Why are you going to be like, okay, well, you know what? Everything's going to be fine and dandy because Biden's in control. Who thinks that? Now, I know there's some leftists, and I've met quite a few of them. There's some leftists that think that. There's some straight up leftists that think that. But they're upset. And the only reason why the liberal media is talking about the illegal aliens and the border at all is because what Ron DeSantis has done and because of what Governor Abbott and the governor in Arizona has been doing. Sending these illegal people to sanctuary states and cities. So you're not supposed to do it. We're only supposed to be sanctuary, but you're not supposed to actually, act on it. And then they get upset because they're saying that Ron DeSantis was not notifying governors. Listen to Karine Jean-Pierre as she's sitting there saying that they should be notifying governors. But you know what? I know I have this is just my opinion. And I'm going to tell you, but listen to this. And I'm going to tell you what my opinion on why the governors are doing this.
Has the president reached out to any of these governors? So here's the thing, and I was asked this question earlier today. I don't know why we would reach out to a governor or governors who are clearly playing a political game, right? It is something that they're doing not to find a solution, but to literally put people's lives at risk.
You hear this? So they're saying that Biden is not reaching out to the governors because they don't want to talk to them because they're doing this for political reasons, right? Political gain. That's what she's literally saying, right? Right? But you know what? Ron DeSantis, Governor Abbott, and there's other governors are starting to get into play on this. You know what? My opinion, and this is just my opinion, So all you fake fact checkers out there, quote, Will's opinion. Okay, it's just Will's opinion. We're in a civil war. We're in it. The Republicans, the governors, Ron DeSantis, Abbott, they're at war. And it's a different war. It's not the war like it was in the past. It's a different type of war. And I'm telling you, just step back and look at what they're doing. Just step back for a second and the visual and just look at it. Just look at it. Okay, so the Biden administration bring people into the country or open the door and put the memo out there and letting all these people come in because they're not stopping the people from coming. So it's obvious, right? We all agree that the Biden administration is doing this. So then they put people on planes and they fly them to various states and various cities throughout the country because they have sinister reasons, right? And they want to do a fast track, get all these people to be able to vote and then get them all to vote blue, right? I'm telling you, that's why they were shipping them to red states, for example, like Florida. Well, Ron DeSantis is fighting back. Governor Abbott is fighting back. Fighting back. Putting the pressure on them. And see, they want to live in their liberal utopias and try to act like nothing is out of the ordinary, like until it shows up to their border, right? Nothing's out of ordinary until they show up to their border. But you know what? There's even sheriffs. I played the video last night with the woke sheriff. Right? There's a woke sheriff in El Paso, Texas. It's completely mind-blowing to me. But listen to this sheriff as he's talking about the reason why people are coming to the country. And it's not because they're fleeing communism, like Karine Jean-Pierre would like for all of us to believe. Listen to what he says, the reason why they're coming to America.
What I see right now, there's a lot of immigrants coming in that really are not desperate because they're being chased by the cartels or maybe want to be persecuted by governments. A lot of them are saying this is the chance to get over there to USA. They really don't have any problems in their country, but it's a chance to be over here. It's open. Let's come over here now to the USA and we're here.
They're coming because it's open. They're just taking the opportunity because the Biden administration is not stopping them. And you know what? With the number of people that are coming into the nation right now, why do you think that they're coming in so much now? Because before the midterm election, they're trying to flood the floodgates right now. They're trying to hit the gates, hit them hard, right? Before the midterm election, right? And then wait until 2024. You think this is a lot? You think this is a lot? As soon as they see that it's a potential for President Trump to return, you think the numbers that we're seeing now is a lot? That's not, that's, you know what? The number is going to be through the roof. It's going to be ridiculous. I think every single city you'll go and you'll just see people from Honduras, people from Venezuela, people from everywhere in our country, in your city. You're going to go down to the store and they're going to just be there. The crime is already going through the roof. We're going to see more crime happen. We're going to see more of it take place. And then that's not to say if the terrorists don't start, doing something. And again, I played the video where they talked about it. Congress even talked about it. If you want to bring a dirty bomb into the country, this will be the time to do it. This will be the time to do it. If Russia wants to do it, if China wants to do it, if Iran wants to do it, why wouldn't they do it now? The border is wide open. And who's going to end up hurting? Because, see, all of these nations, they want to take America down. They don't want America to be great. They don't want America to be number one. And see, that's why they go after us, that when we say we're MAGA Republicans, because they hate us. The Democrats hate us because we want to put America first. Listen to this. This is even Obama's former DHS, where he's talking about the number of people that are coming into the country now versus before. You can't make this stuff up.
When I was in office, the numbers were annually about 400,000 a year.
300 to 200,000 a year, right? That's what he said.
Now getting that in a matter of 6 to 8 weeks.
You hear that? Did you hear that? See, they were getting what they were getting like 200,000 people in a year. Now they're getting that in like 8 weeks. And it's growing. We are being invaded. And the Biden administration and all of the Democrats, they are all complicit with it. They're all working hand in hand to do this. And the reason why I talk about it, because I love my country. I love the fact that, I can just turn this off right now and go down to the store and go give me some lemonade at the store if I wanted to, right? Because this is the country we live in, and I can go down there and hopefully I don't get shot at. But the crime is going through the roof. There's so many. I have to stop showing them, right? Because of all the violence that we're seeing take place in our country today. Y'all need to get ready. It's like maybe I need to build a wall right here, right, and sit on it and be like, get a wall and be right here, watchmen on the wall, right? Saying y'all need to get ready. Y'all need to get ready. I don't know how else to tell you. I can show you this stuff all day, every day, all day long, and people still won't do it because they're like, well, you know what? I got enough time. I don't have to worry about it. It's not really that bad. Biden's in control, right? Is that what you're saying? They want to bring these people in here because of nut jobs like this. Listen to what this nut job says about the illegal immigrants and how it's supposed to help America.
Take a look at it. And it's not just Japan and South Korea, but there are quite a few countries that are really struggling because young people, because under the burdens of capitalism and living under a society that's increasingly concentrating wealth among the rich, we're not having kids. You hear this? She's blaming capitalism. Now, she's talking about countries like, the way I receive this information, she's talking about countries like Venezuela, which is communist, talking about Cuba, which is communist, right? She's talking about these communist nations. She's literally suggesting that the reason why they're in a predicament because of capitalism, when capitalism has no place in that country. They have destroyed the country because of capitalism. She's a bubbling idiot. She's an idiot on Capitol Hill. Under a society that's increasingly concentrating wealth among the rich, we're not having kids, or we're not having kids at the same rate. And we actually need immigrant populations to help balance things out. We can't continue to fund Social Security. You hear this? Medicare, all of this stuff. She's talking. Okay, so I don't think anybody has any issues with legal immigration. Let me repeat that. Nobody has issues with legal immigration. That means they're coming through the front door. They're coming through legally. They're doing the right thing. No one has any issues with that. What she's referring to, without her saying it, is this flux of people coming into the country that they want to fast track so they can vote blue. That's who she's talking about. And these people have never paid a single dime, not a single dime, in Social Security or Medicaid. Not a single dime. But you know what? They want us to fork out all of this money to them. We actually need immigrant populations to help balance things out. We can't continue to fund Social Security, Medicare, all of this stuff without immigrants. And it's always been that way. Don't act like this is some new trend or anything like that. Don't act like it's some new trend or anything like that. What? She's lying. It is a new trend. Trying to get people to convince people that the only way we can benefit or do better with Social Security by bringing in a whole bunch of more illegals. Right? And I've told y'all before, they try to act like the illegal immigrants come to the country. They're trying to equate them to what happened in Nazi Germany. I kid you not. They're trying to equate that. And some of y'all probably have heard it. Some of y'all probably haven't, but I kid you not. And if you want me to, I can prove it to you. But I want to show you, and it's really mind-blowing, because the evilness that happened in Nazi Germany is the same evilness that the left is doing today. They have their foot soldiers, Antifa. They militarized the FBI against the American people. They militarized or weaponized, rather, the FBI and the DOJ against the American people, just like Hitler did. They weaponized all of their companies, all of their organizations against the people. The same thing that they're doing here. And they don't want to talk about the deaths that's happening because the border's open. Listen to Matt Gaetz talking about the fentanyl.
There has been discussion today of fentanyl, And it irks me every time I hear someone talk about fentanyl overdoses, because no one overdoses on fentanyl, because I don't think anybody really sets out to like score some fentanyl for a good time. I get why it's hard to keep cocaine from coming into the country. People in the United States like using cocaine. They seek it out. They pay high dollar amounts for it. And so that would be something hard to stop. But since people don't set out to use fentanyl, since it's something we don't want in our country, we should be totally capable of stopping it. And the only reason we aren't is because we purposefully allow our border to degrade. Not by accident, not because of some lack of capability or some unsolvable problem set, but because there are some groups on the right and left who think that they will do better economically if we just let millions of people into the country and depress the wages of Americans. And the cost they're willing to pay for that are the funerals and the deaths and the broken lives as a result of fentanyl poisoning, because it is not an overdose. It is a poisoning that happens.
It's a poisoning. It's a straight up poison. And they're doing it to harm people and to kill people. And of course, you know, Beijing, Biden, China Joe, they all know where the fentanyl is coming from, right? The cartel's just making money because they're the middleman. They're the middleman of the fentanyl coming to America. They are the middleman. They all know where it's coming from.
China, 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 China.
China is supplying all of the drugs, the fentanyl, and the drug cartel, they're just pushing it to America. They're pushing it to America. And they want all of us to believe that, it's just what fentanyl. And Joe Brandon mentioned the fentanyl one time. One time. He mentions the fentanyl. One time. One time. While we have parents that are losing their lives. They're losing their children's lives. They don't want to concentrate. They don't want to pay attention to the actual problems that's happening right now with our children. Oh my goodness. Come on. Come on. It can't just be me. I know it's not just me, but I'm like, come on.
Come on, man.
Right? These people, and the reason why they're doing this, and I constantly tell the people, everybody, the reason why they're doing this is because of the evil one that resides in them. That's the only explanation. That's the only explanation. If I can, let me talk about this dude here, Fetterman. And you know what? Fetterman is completely a nut job. He's a complete nut job. And this reporter's asking him if he had the opportunity to kill, to pull a shotgun out on another black man, would he do it? Right? She's asking him this question. If he had the opportunity, would he do it in the same situation? And in this case, come to find out, it was just a black man jogging, like Will Johnson jogging down the street, and someone like Fetterman coming out with a shotgun, pointing it at me, getting ready to shoot me. Right? Just jogging. And that was an actual case of someone just jogging. But where's BLM? Nowhere to be found. Where's the ACLU? Nowhere to be found. Where's MoveOn.org? They moved on. They're not around. None of these leftist organizations say anything about Fetterman because he's a Democrat. See, it's okay when Democrats, being racist like Fetterman, going after black people. It's okay when they do it because we all know that Democrats are the original racists in the country. Primarily the only racists. Primarily. Listen to Fetterman as he's asked this question about if he were to do it again to a black man.
Looking back at what happened, did you make a mistake that day?
It's not something that an incident that I would ever, want to, repeat because it was a jarring experience. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of the record that I've accrued as mayor. And
would you do the same thing? Today?
Well, it's impossible to say, given that it was over 9 years ago. And
it's impossible to say, even though because it was over 9 years ago. I mean, the simple answer would be no, I wouldn't do that, because I would pay attention to that. Not everyone is up to no good because they're black running down the street. Not everybody black person running down the street is up to no good. But he did it because he had in his mind that everybody black running down the street is no good. But again, that's okay for Democrats to do that. It's okay. It's okay, right? Right? Listen to this one with Fetterman.
Please talk to these experts. We have copies of this report, and I hope that it could lead to a conversation that would free close to 1,200 people of a legacy that never made sense, that encompasses victims' input, encompasses their conduct and behavior in prison. It takes a look at the resources that are wasted on that. The most important of them are people that could be contributing and being returned back to them.
Now, I know it's kind of difficult what he's talking about, but what he's saying here is that he's wanting to bring in experts to talk about people that's in prison for murder and how to get them out back on the streets and back into their families so they can possibly murder again. Seriously, that's what all that is about. They're talking to experts about seeing how they can get people out to murder again. Let me ask y'all a question real quick. See, for me, I feel it. Spiritually, I feel it. I mean, I truly feel it. That the battle in the spiritual realm is raging more and more and more and more. And I mean, to the point we don't understand it. The spiritual battle is all around us. There are physical bodies. We can't see it, but we can feel it. And the way we do see it is things like this. This was Turning Point USA event, to my understanding, and they're just talking about memes. Right? And I'm pretty sure everyone has probably seen this video, but I just wanted to talk about it real briefly here. And all they're doing is just talking about memes, right? And they're going through different memes, and memes are just memes. Some of them can be funny. Some of them can be pretty grotesque. Some of them can have valid points. Some of them can just be an opinion. Some of them can just be off the wall. Memes are just memes. Memes are just memes, right? And, Turning Point USA, they go to these colleges, throughout the country, and they have these events, and they just talk about stuff, right? This one is just about memes. Well, look at this. This is someone that got upset because they're looking at all the memes, and all of a sudden, when the meme with Kamala Harris shows up on the screen, of course, you get somebody to act out. You see that? You see that? This is spiritual battle that's affecting people, and the demonic spirits are in these people. What was the reasoning for doing that? Being violent like that? And I guarantee you he didn't vote for Trump. I guarantee you he don't support Trump. I guarantee you he's lost and confused and on that demon crap plantation. I guarantee it, without even talking to him. Because all of the conservative Christians that I've ever come in contact with, they don't do stuff like this. But you lay your hands on them, you're liable to find out something you didn't want to find out. But they just don't act out like this. Every event that I've gone to, every single one, and I mean every single event that I've gone to that's been pro-American or pro-Trump, Antifa, BLM, if they show up, they bring the violence. They bring the violence. It's never the other way around. Never. Never a single time that these anti-hateful communist people have events where Americans show up and cause violence. It never happens. There's no video of it, nothing, nowhere. But they want everyone to believe otherwise. They like everybody to believe otherwise. And this violence that we're seeing is just intensifying. It's just growing throughout the country. It's just growing. And it's not slowing down. This is the Biden America. This is Biden's America. That's what I'm telling y'all. Y'all need to get ready. If y'all are tired of me telling you to get ready and you don't want to hear it, then you know what? And let me say this. I don't try to equate myself to anybody in the Bible. I don't. I can't even, I don't know how to fill those shoes. I don't. But I'm not the only one telling people to get ready. It's multiple people. See, one time in the Bible that we all know about, Noah was telling the people to get ready. Nobody else was saying it. Nobody else was saying get ready. But today is different. Today, we're living in a world where we see the last days. We live in a world where we see this chaos. We live in a world where we see people being turned over to a reprobate mind. We live in a world where God has sent a strong delusion. We live in a world where they don't believe truth is truth any longer. They'll say that that's your truth, when the truth is the truth, regardless if it's what you're saying. 2 + 2 will always equal 4. It's not your truth. It is the truth. This is the time that we're living in. This is the day and age that we're living in. You need to get ready. You've got to get ready. Prepare for your kids. Prepare for your family. This is getting bad. I'm telling you. And I don't want to be like doom and gloom, because you know what? I trust in Jesus. And I said this the other day, and I have to apologize because I tell people all this stuff, and I tell them, and I have to tell you that I believe in Jesus, that I'm going to be okay. And no matter how terrible things get, I know that Jesus will be with us. As long as I keep my faith in Jesus and keep my faith on the sight of Almighty God, not the sight of what this flesh can bring. My goal is to please our Heavenly Father, and that's it. I'm not here to please. I'm not to insult anybody watching. I'm not here to please you. Right? You shouldn't be here to please anybody. Right? You understand what I'm saying? You should be pleasing your Father. You please God. And I hope that I'm bringing something that will help people to wake up. You know, when I had my phone system, I would have people call in, and I've had multiple people call in and say, Will, I want to say, because of I'm watching you and I'm just listening to what you're saying, and like, dude, I never even thought about it like that. And people I started paying attention, and people start waking up. And I can't tell you, and I always tell them, I say, you know what? I can't take any of the responsibility. I can't take any of the credit. I can't take nothing of it. Let's give all the glory to God, because I pray that God uses me for His will. Not Will's will, but His will. Does that make sense? And just like when you bless me, because I know times are really strained right now for everybody, I never take it for granted, and I always use it. You see, I always use what you bless me with. I put it in here. I use what you bless me with. All right, let me say thank you to a few people before I bounce out of here. All right. Dana, thank you so much. Cheryl, thank you so much for the stars. Michelle, thank you so much. Michael, thank you so much. Sharon, thank you. Kelly, thank you. Chuck, wow, thank you. Darlene, thank you. Heather, thank you. Robin, thank you. Lou, thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. All right, I think that's it. Hey, thank you, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Oh, what is this? Okay. Reality check.